This is Mark Lowry and this is Tactical Tuesday. Today we're going to look at analysing the opposition to give you a couple of starting points on how you might want to analyse the team you're playing against to give your team the information they need. And a couple of things I like to look at is really at both ends of the field. Firstly, if we're the blue team, I like to look at first off, how are we going to press the opposition? How do the opposition like to build their attacks from the back? Are they directing? If they're direct, do I want to focus on winning the ball here, or do I want to focus on stopping them from going long? If they're a team that plays out, is it 2-6s that they're going to use? Is it a back four? Is it a back three? All those things will dictate how then we're going to try and win the ball back. So initially I will look at how's the team building out? Who do they like to use? Do they like to go through their sixes? Well, that might mean I need to use my number 9, for example, to screen these passes and set pressing traps in the wide areas. That could mean that I want to be really aggressive here then. Knowing they're going to play into the 6 is, can I get my midfielders up tight to try and win the ball back in these situations? There are various ways you could try and stop them doing it, but it's very important, I think, when you analyse the opposition, how are the opposition going to build their attacks? Because then how are we going to defend and press from the front to try and win the ball back? It's very important. The next thing I will look at is I'll flip it. I'll say, well, how are they going to press us? So if we have the ball back here, how will they press us? Do they send fullbacks really high and go man for man in the press there, meaning they leave us space here? So can we find players between the lines to get turned to create the overloads? Do they sit off us a little bit and give us the time on the ball to build our attacks, which means we can be patient with it and swing it around and move ourselves up? If teams tend to sit off and give you a little more time on the ball, then you have to look at where you want to position your guys in the attacking half. If they're not putting you under pressure, do you need 2 players helping the back four? Probably not. Can one of these players now go higher up and you just use one? Because generally, if there's no pressure on the ball here, they need less options here because they have more time to see the situation. If the team is high pressing, meaning less time on the ball, that means our supporting distances need to be shorter and more players need to come close so we can play around that pressure. So those are the 2 things I like to look at first and foremost, is how can we press the opposition to win the ball back? Then how are they going to press us? How is their setup in their press? Is it 1-9? Are they 2 number 9s? And that will then allow me to configure our defense and our midfield in order for us to build our possession ourselves.